Yeah. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Listen, are we in some type of trouble offensively? Let's think about that, man. And shout out to my boy Red, man. You know he drive the big trucks, you know what I'm saying? He get it in early in the morning, man. He hit me up, man, and you know, he brought a good point to me. He said he thinks that the offense is in trouble. After looking at it, I hit him back and I said I agree, man. For you, I'll touch on this subject, man. Listen, man. I think we're in a bit of trouble. I don't think it's as drastic as some would say, but I think the offense is in trouble. And I also think that Deshaun Jackson's injury is a little more dire than what they would like us to believe. Now, it wouldn't be all these rumors about us having our hat in the ring for Odell Beckham Jr. if Deshaun Jackson was healthy. Now, it's a tricky situation because you got teams who average less yards per game than us who have better records than us. So who's to say when the offense is doing bad or when the offense is doing good? We average more yards per game than the Green Bay Packers. We're 24th. I think the Green Bay Packers are like 25th or 26th. You see what I'm saying? It's hard to say. But then on the flip side of that, we have the best completion percentage on third down. A lot of things are missing from our offense right now. I think right now is a critical time in the season where we must choose an identity. We got to choose an identity because we're coming out slow on the offensive side of the ball. We got some guys. Listen, guess who averages the most yards per game in the NFL? The Dallas Cowboys. And after we take care of the Minnesota Vikings, that's who's on the menu. So if this game with Dallas turns into a shootout, we need to be able to have some playmakers, which we're lacking right now. Now, teams are getting a beat on Zach Ertz. This time last year, you know, I got something for it. This time last year, Zach Ertz had 40 receptions, 437 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Right now, Zach Ertz is at a measly 29 receptions, 312 yards, and 1 touchdown. That's not going to cut it. That's not good enough. Right now, the Philadelphia Eagles are 24th, as I already stated, with 339 yards a game. That's not going to cut it. We need to be able to generate more yards, generate more plays. We need to be able to get more playmakers involved in the game. Right now, yards per play, 5.3. Third down completion percentage, 53. That's best in the NFL. Now, what does that show me right there? That shows me that the team is lacking playmakers, but have a coach and an elite quarterback. Listen, we're actually tied for first place when it comes to completion percentage. Who else is tied with us at 53%? I think it was the Houston Texans, if I'm not mistaken. The Houston Texans are up there. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. From what I read, I think it was the Houston Texans. And I also know the Houston Texans were probably about, they were second in yards per game. Houston Texans have a dominant quarterback who's playing at an MVP level right now. The Philadelphia Eagles have a dominant quarterback who would have MVP numbers had we had more playmakers. So do I think we need help? Absolutely. This Odell Beckham Jr. thing, what's it going to cost us? If this rumor is even true, a lot of things have just been rumors. You know what I mean? And a lot of things have just been, in my opinion, swinging for the fence type of ideas and moves that are being thrown out there in the atmosphere. It's not easy to get a player like Odell Beckham Jr. It's not easy to acquire a player like Jalen Ramsey. So we can't come down on Howie because he can't get the impossible done sometimes. Now, if the Cleveland Browns are looking to offload Odell Beckham Jr. and get a first-round pick back for him, I don't see why we wouldn't give up a first-round pick. But the Cleveland Browns would have to be on the hook for a lot of that money. That got to be the deal. You got to be on the hook for a lot of that money. I think the Browns, I think the New York Giants still paying Odell right now. How crazy would it be that we get Odell Beckham back in the NFC and the Eagles jersey? How crazy would it be? You know what I'm saying? But you got to, if you're getting Odell Beckham, you can't expect to have Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey and Nelson Aguilar on this roster. Which brings me to Nelson Aguilar. There's no need to crap on Nelson Aguilar. Nelson Aguilar might be the best playmaker we got right now. You know what I mean? He might be the best playmaker. Period. Deshaun Jackson ain't in the game. That takes away the one-shot big play. Nelson Aguilar can be used in a multitude of ways. We know Nelson Aguilar has a problem with dropping the ball. We're all aware of that. But Nelson Aguilar just don't got to go deep. And that seems like that's the only way we want to use Nelson Aguilar on a deep route. Nelson Aguilar can run jet sweeps. Nelson Aguilar can run screens. Nelson Aguilar can be used in a multitude of ways. It's up to us to see how we're going to use Nelson Aguilar. I've seen Nelson Aguilar carry the ball in between the tackles and look good doing that. Nelson Aguilar stays healthy. Nelson Aguilar is always available. The only issue with Nelson Aguilar is the hand situation. He gets separation, and I don't know what it is about Carson Wentz and Nelson Aguilar's connection, but Nelson Aguilar had his man beat deep a couple of times when we played the Jets, and I think Carson Wentz missed him both times. He missed him one time, and one time he was held. At the end of the day, The talent is there to get these guys up and moving. The talent is there for us to be able to show that we got playmakers. Miles Sanders can turn into a playmaker for us, especially with Darren Sproles not being on the field as much this week, probably missing this game. You know what I'm saying? Now, I understand. I also read an article that the team was kind of frustrated with Sidney Jones. They got every right to be frustrated with Sidney Jones. I mean, we all expected more out of Sidney Jones. But if I want to give some Week 5 awards right now, I got to give Week 5 awards to 3 players, and those 3 players being Carson Wentz, Rasul Douglas, and Brandon Graham. Those guys have played with the same intensity throwing out the most part of these 5 games that we've played so far. I mean, Rasul Douglas had 1 bad game, but Brandon Graham has been making plays all season. Carson Wentz has been making plays all season, keeping his head down, staying composed, and making sure he was still being, just the leader that we all know he could be, even though guys were dropping the ball. So do I think the offense is in trouble? I think we're in a little bit of trouble. I do. I think we need a little bit of help. But I think that if Deshaun Jackson is going to be out long term, that's something they need to let us know right now. Don't be trying to hide nothing. Don't be trying to hide the hand and talking about going to get OBJ and stuff like that. If he's out, let us know that he's out. You owe us that much as fans. If it's not serious, then I don't want to hear nothing else about it. You know what I mean? Me personally, I think OBJ fits the system. I think that it would be marvelous to have Odell Beckham Jr. He fits any system. You got to make a system fit if you got OBJ on the roster. You know what I mean? And there's not nothing OBJ is doing wrong out there in Cleveland. It's just that it may not just be working out over there. The quarterback don't throw the ball to him. That's what I'm seeing out of the situation, man. But as far as the Minnesota Vikings are concerned, it's time to play smash mouth football. We know the weapons we're going into this week. We know what we're going into this week with. We know the arsenal that we carrying into this week. We got to go out there and play smash mouth football. If we go out there and wear those lines down, wear that offensive line down with the run, wear that defensive line down with a nice sturdy pass rush, then we should be able to defeat these guys. Now, we know Kirk Cousins likes to show up for 1 o'clock games. It ain't a primetime game, so expect probably the best Kirk Cousins you ever seen in your life, especially at home against the Philadelphia Eagles, where those guys just absolutely can't stand us. You know what I mean? We know why they can't stand this. They not married. They ain't got no ring. But we gonna keep it the way it got to be kept. We're going to go in there. We're going to handle business. We're going to wear them down. And I expect a big game out of Carson Wentz, actually. I really do. I expect the offense to kind of wake up because they knew they came out there and laid the egg. But do I think we need help in the offense? The numbers say we need help. Do I think we still could turn it on with what we got on the field? I do, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.